Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Backrooms Wiki. We are back on reading the Backrooms levels. I have not done this in a while, so to give you enough content for what you've been missing out, I'll do 20 levels this time. I was gonna do 50 since I haven't uploaded in 5 days, or uploaded anything related to this in 5 days. But I decided that would take way too long, so we're only going to do 20. So let's just get started with level 21. Desiderata machines, or yeah, something like that. Meg notice. The vast majority of information about freaking ads. Go away. I hate ads. Okay. The vast majority of information about level 21 is unconfirmed. Please contact the Major Explorer Group if it is encountered. Okay. Survival difficulty, class undetermined, mysterious properties, unknown information, and undocumented entities. Level 21 is the 22nd level of the backrooms. Information regarding level 21 is infrequent, nevertheless, the spatial properties of this level are confirmed to be located inside of a warehouse. The warehouse holds a large quantity of items, including that of which is no longer manufactured or in use. The aforementioned items are seemingly timeless. They are from different time periods and seemingly manifested by the subject that enters this level. Henceforth, it can be concluded that the entry of items inside level 21 are waiting for someone to take them, for they exist for the sole reason that someone has the item claimed unknowingly. The vast majority of items in this level are curious rooms of toys, seemingly from one's childhood due to their sentimental meaning. The warehouse, henceforth, is very valuable. Although aforementioned that items inside level 21 are extremely valuable, according to subjects' reports, this is ignored in the moment. Some force seems to subconsciously cause a subject to travel towards their desired object. When the object is reached, one can safely retrieve it and return to the level they were previously in. The desired item is tangible. It can be desired subconsciously or consciously, although it's noted that storage from ages long ago exists. Food and extinct animals cannot be found here. Okay. Entrances. Level 21 can be accessed by being subconsciously drawn to a strange large building in level 11. This building doesn't seem to resemble level 21 in any way, shape, or form. Exits. Level 21 can be exited by one finding their desired object. Shut up, phone. Meg transistor frequency log at level 21. The following is an archived log which contains the first report of level 21. The receiving is located at base null, answered by Tiffany Lauren. Tiffany L. Hello, this is Tiffany Lauren located at base null. Please state your business. Mail. Hi, I'm Adam. I'm currently located in some warehouse. I think it's a level, but I'm not sure. Tiffany. Understood. Is there any immediate danger in your location? No, not that is visible. This place is eerie, though I don't like it, and I feel drawn to something. Very well. May you please describe your surroundings and your method of entry to this level? Well, there's tons of shelves. They have all forms of things on them, but most are jewelry and valuables. I entered through a building in level 11. Is there a way for us to send Major Explorer Group personnel to your location? I wasn't tracing where I was going level 11. I'm so sorry. That's okay. If there is no immediate threat, I reckon you search for an exit to this level. I feel like I need to follow this urge. Sir, this may be a hazard. This is luring you. Approach with caution, please. Okay. End. The following is an archived log which contains further information on the discovery level 20. Commence. Hello, this is Tiffany Lauren, located at base null. Please state your business. This is Adam from earlier. I left the level with one of my most valuable possessions from the front rooms. How was that possible? I don't know, but I'm back on level 11. Alright, I'll send a team to guide you to base null. An undocumented amount of time elapses. Researcher Andrew. So may you describe the warehouse you saw to me? Adam. Yes, it was large, mostly gray colored. The outside was sunny, and thus was rather bright, and due to the dust combined with the sunlight, it was kind of visible. I don't know how to describe that. Also, there was large shelves that held jewelry and heirlooms. Heirlooms. Interesting. Any more descriptions, perhaps of special properties? Well, I felt lured to this one item. A bike. It's outside of the building. It was my favorite as a child. Researcher Andrew, following a gas. The same as you remembered it from the front rooms? Yes. Intriguing. Any more properties? No. The end. I have level 21. Or, level 22. Luckily, that one was kind of short. What do you expect for a level that has no, does not have much information? And I hate when the levels don't give me the name. Okay, Polluted Ruins. Okay, level 22, Polluted Ruins. Bunch of file stuff, bunch of lore. Oh, this is weird. Okay, I'll read these, because there's actually, like, tabs, which is weird. Okay, load file folder level 22, loaded file 1, loaded file... Okay, well, I'll go over it maybe another day or something like that, I don't know. Revision as of, okay, I'm trying to remember month and dates. Okay, so, January, February, March. April 19th, 2011. Level 22, Parking Hub. Survival difficulty Class 1, safe, unsecure, and minimal entity count. Level 22 is assumed to be linked to level 11 due to sharing a similar city-like atmosphere. General description. Level 22 resembles parking lot garage with multiple floors that stretch for approximately 500 square kilometers. The level is well lit up by fluorescent lights that occasionally buzz, albeit quietly and flicker curiously. The level is surrounded by a black abyss of some sort, which many believe leads to level 6, but this isn't confirmed as no wanderer has entered through the abyss yet. The most prominent feature of level 22 are the cars. They are able to activate but cannot drive. In addition, they typically consist of almond water and other essential items at the back seats or the trunk. Similar to the parking garages from the front rooms, level 22 consists of multiple floors with each having the same physical appearance. Each floor does not have any difference other than its layout and different colonies and outposts living on each floor. A peculiar feature of level 22 is that the further you go away from the center of the level, the less cars that will appear. This continues until you eventually reach the border of the level, which you'll encounter the aforementioned abyss. Many wanderers this far from the center of the level have claimed to experience hallucinations of other entities and cars speeding, freaking phone, so, frick, where was I? Have claimed to experience hallucinations or other entities as cars speedily driving towards them only to disappear near impact, in quotation marks. The reasoning for the hallucinations is unknown, albeit Meg is investigating the phenomenon. Therefore, it is advised to be cautious around the part of the level, especially since this part is not as well documented as the rest of the level. Throughout the level, several elevators can be found. Each elevator will take you to various floors from floor 1 to floor 20. Sometimes these elevators will have the option to take you to different levels. A popular pick is level -6 and level 87, due to both being paradise, but most wanderers don't like the idea of being stuck in an inescapable paradise, so majority of wanderers who find these elevators reside in level -6. Entities, facings, and cats with K are quite common within the level as they tend to wander around the level. Okay. Colonies and outposts. Many colonies and outposts have been established due to level 22 acting as a rest stop. The Athenstan Empire has a population of 20 to 30, inhabits the 17th floor, willing to trade and let wanderers into their gloop. Is gloop a word? It could be, but group. I meant to say group. The Looters, a group that breaks into cars found in level 2 and takes all the items for personal use or for trading. Unguarded, open to trading resources, friendly and may accept new members, inhabits the 14th floor, 15 to 30 members. Outpost 22, an outpost that specializes in helping hurt or dying wanderers. open to trade and accepting new members. They claim that they found a giant hole that leads them to floor 5 to floor 7. Inhabits near the giant hole that leads to floor 5, 6, and 7. Population of 25 to 35 members. The Discriminators, a colony that creates advanced weapons. They have crafted multiple weapons, such as a weapon in a different language I'm not going to try to read, a sword that can ignite and cut through flesh like butter, or another weapon called, same thing, a hammer, so powerful that it can crush the human skull with a light swing. That is very powerful. Are not open for wanderers to join, but will trade their weapons for something valuable. Population of 10 to 15 people. Inhabits the second floor. Okay, entrances and exits. Entrances. The most common way to enter level 22 is by going into a parking garage in level 11. Going through a parking garage entrance in level 32 leads you here. Rumor has it that no clipping in the warehouse in level 21 would teleport you here, but this isn't confirmed. Using either exit in the laboratory section of level 1081 in the danger state will lead you here. Exits. By using an elevator that leads you to levels instead of floors, one can make the selection to enter level -6, level 1, level 4, level 23, and level 87. No clipping into a yellow car will bring you to level 688. Destroying a car has a chance to take you to level 23. Okay. So, I don't know, though, because this doesn't really match. Oh, I get it now. Yep, I was right. Oh. There's whole other descriptions. Okay, so the file thing at the top, apparently that actually, like, loads files. Okay, so this one is still level 22, but this one was documented as, okay, let me just start reading. Revision as of October 29th, 2015. Level 22, Ruins Left Behind. I was with my colleague joking about partygoers and smilers when suddenly the level collapsed. I saw my friends fall into the endless void while the others got crushed and slowly died. I was the only survivor. One of the few wanderers that survived in level 22 collapsed. Oh. Okay, so apparently, so they are the same level. They might have just, yeah, but as it just said, it collapsed. Okay. Survival difficulty now is class 4E in environmental, unsafe, unsecure, several non-entity hazards. In general description, level 22, also referred as ruins left behind, phone, I don't care. Often also referred to as ruins left behind, resembles an abandoned parking garage with yellow support beams and several damaged cars shattered across the level. Multiple wires deactivating fluorescent lights and signs are found hanging on the ceiling. In addition, there are potholes, debris, and ash and dust on the floor, which may pose as tripping hazards if the wanderer isn't cautious enough with their surroundings. Like parking garages from the front room, level 22 consists of multiple floors, however each floor appears to worsen and darken the lower you go. This applies to the further you go from the center of the level. Wow. One of the anomalous properties of this level comes from its cars. They're typically found 350 meters, 1,148 feet away from the entry point, with some being accessible. These cars, in addition, seem to take on the appearance of a car from the wanderer's favorite car. Manufacturers, for example, if a wanderer likes Toyota, then the cars will appear as in any car sold under the Toyota brand. Whether new or old, if the wanderer doesn't have any favorite car manufacturer, then the cars will take on the appearance of any random car from any random car manufacturer. Within the cars are damaged tools, such as hammers and liquid paint bottles, which aren't advised to take. Despite these damaged cars seeming ordinary, the anomalous properties become apparent when you enter one with a shattered or non-functional headlights. By doing so, an entity will appear in the back seat or right behind you, whether the car has a back seat or not. It is advised to immediately exit the car should it appear and run far away from the car as fast as you can. Not doing so will result in death. Entities, Anethicus, I'm just gonna say that that's the name. Smilers and car lurkers are the only documented entities reported in level 22. Colony is an outpost. Due to the unestablished and deadly environment at level 22, creating a colony or outpost is infeasible as it would result in death. Entrances and exits. Oh, there's actually different ones. I thought they would all be the same since, it's the same level. But whatever. Finding a parking garage in level 11 and then going in it will take you here. Going through a parking garage entrance in level 32 leads here. No clipping in the warehouse level 21 will teleport you here, though this hasn't been confirmed yet. Sometimes a parking garage entrance level -6 can be found. Entering it will lead you here. Exits. Descending 22 stairways will lead you to level 33. Going to a cleaner area and find an iron hatch. After passing through this hatch, you'll be brought to level 312. No clipping into a yellow car will take you to level 688. Using a functional elevator that takes you levels instead of floors will take you to the aforementioned levels. Level -6, level 1, level 4, level 23, and level 87. It is not recommended that you take this exit as the elevators may not function properly, and instead of taking you to the desired level, you may appear on a glitchy level. These levels include level 404, level 952, level 65536, and Stack Overflow. Entering the void in a certain location will bring you to level 8999. However, it is worth noting that taking the risk is not advised, as level 22 stretches for 500 kilometers, with the exact location also being undetermined. Journal. A page within a journal regarding level 22. A page within a journal regarding level 22. It is unknown who owns this journal, as it was found in level 64, laying on the ground. Day 32. A day before the discovery. I found a bike I wanted ever since I was a child on level 21, but when I grabbed it, the level collapsed, and I fell to here. Since I was in level 21 previously, I'm assuming I'm in level 22. While I was walking through the level, I heard a faint explosion sound. A couple of seconds later, the entire level was falling apart. It appears that level 22 was a trap level, and I tried to find something I could cover with myself. Unfortunately, while I was running, a sinkhole formed underneath me, and I fell. I don't know where, but it looks like a black space of emptiness. I honestly did not know what happened, since everything happened so fast. A continuation of this journal can be found within level 8999. So that's another part of level 2. Let's go to Polluted Ruins. Oh gosh, okay. Okay, this one, revision as of June 12th, 2018. Level 22, Polluted Ruins. Another unfortunate case in the hands of the level -6 virus. We shall contain the virus in its home level, or else it will spread and devastate all of the backrooms. I wonder who managed to survive entry to level 22 after being polluted. Okay. Survival difficulty Class 5 and Class 5E. Whew. Unsafe, unsecure, entity infestation, numerous environmental hazards. So level 22 is turned into a pretty bad area. Level 22, also known as Polluted Ruins, is another unfortunate case of level -6 infection. It resembles a flooded, abandoned parking lot. It in an extreme state of despair, with rusting support beams and ceilings, polluted water, collapsing floors, and visible formation of stalactites on the ceiling. Aside from the noticeable state of despair it's in, one of the most noticeable features of this level is that the liquid that is in the level flooded with seems to be a more toxic variant of liquid pain, notable akin to the one in level -6, which leads many to believe that the liquid came from sub-level via an entrance. This liquid should be avoided in any circumstances, as staying in it will start to dissolve the wanderer's flesh, causing immense pain and potential death. Furthermore, the liquid is able to dissolve bones, which explains why human remnants are rarely found in level 22. In addition to the many hazards of this liquid, it can also produce green air. This green air should not be breathed in, as it can block your lungs, causing you to suffocate to death. If the green air doesn't suffocate you fast enough, it'll begin to dissolve your insides. Meg has decided to name the substance nuclear infection. Wow. Several damaged and corroded cars can be found, which, along with the level, are in terrible condition. As a result from the nuclear pain in the entities inhabiting level 22, the interior of these cars are completely empty, with only the metal body of the car itself being the only remnant. As listed previously, elevators are present here. One can make the section to pick what floor they can travel to, but it is highly recommended that you do not use these elevators, as they do not work properly as they did before, as using an elevator will cause you to free fall and land in either level 952 or level 65,536. Entities. Level 22 consists of nuclear members, skin dissolvers, corrosive moths, death fishes, and car lurkers. All of the entities prior to the infection of level 22 were either killed off by the entities now inhabiting this level, dissolved by the liquid, or managed to escape the level. Colonies and outposts. Due to the deadly and harsh environments, creating a colony or an outpost is infeasible, as it will result in death. Entrances. Entry to level 22 is hard due to most entrances being blocked off as a precaution. Finding a parking garage in level 11 and then going in, it will take you here, going into a warehouse. Okay, yeah, those are all the same. Exits. Tunnels in level 22 may seamlessly lead to level 49. Descending. Okay, going to a cleaner area. Metro corded yellow car, using the elevator, free fall. Entering the void, and certain location. Okay, let's read. I think. Okay. There's 2 more. Okay, this is for the car lurker entity. The car lurker. This is a class 6, entity number 110. Habit rare, mainly level 22. Description. Car lurkers are entities that mainly inhabit the higher floors of level 22. This entity only appears right after one enters a car with shattered or non-functional headlights. Behavior. As previously mentioned, car lurkers only appear when a wanderer enters a car with non-functional or shattered headlights. The entity will appear either at the back seat, the trunk, or in the front seat right beside you, depending on whether the car is a back seat or not. Car lurkers have the ability to distort reality and distort the laws of physics if it comes into contact with a wanderer. Likewise, it can distort pretty much any other life form, such as other entities. As soon as life form comes into contact with a car lurker, the matter making up the life form will annihilate into pieces and they'll reach the brink of death. Therefore, it is best to avoid this entity in any circumstances. If you were to encounter one, you should get out of the car and run as fast as you can away from the car. Fortunately, the entity's ability nor the entity itself cannot reach you outside of the car. Biology. Due to their vaporizing and law disorienting abilities, not much of the biology of the car lurkers has been studied. Aside from physical appearance, they appear as black humanoids with no arms and assumably amputated legs. They have sunken white eyes, somewhat similar to skin stealers and lurkers. Due to their assumably amputated legs, car lurkers aren't able to walk, solely relying on teleportation for transportation. Albeit they cannot exit the car they're in for unknown reasons. It is unknown if car lurkers need nutrition or not. In addition, car lurkers cannot speak, nor communicate with wanderers, but do let out a scream whenever it first appears or when the wanderer first notices it. Do's and don'ts. Do. Avoid cars with non-functional or shattered headlights. Get out of the car as soon as you see a car lurker. Avoid interaction with it at all costs. Try to block it with a shield if cannot easily escape the car you're in. Car lurkers cannot vaporize any object or material. Don't let a car lurker touch you. Try to fight it. It can easily just vaporize you. Okay. Discovery. Car lurkers were discovered 2 days after the October 13th, 2015 incident on... Yeah, I just said. After a member of the looters went to retrieve any remaining supplies from the cars, the Wanderer in a particular stumbled across a car with shattered headlights and decided to search the car for any supplies. Once the Wanderer got in, a car lurker appeared right beside him as the car in question didn't have a back seat. The Wanderer was subsequently terrified and jumped out of the car immediately. Oddly enough, car lurkers were completely unaffected by the April 6, 2018 incident, the reason likely being that since they have the ability to vaporize life forms, any entity that attempted to harm them were most likely vaporized. Okay, and then File 5, Incidents. Okay. Oh, it only just says the incidents we know about. Okay, level 22 is pretty interesting. It actually had like a full-on story for that one. That's kind of cool. Okay, the next one, Apparatus Insania. Oh, Apparatus Insania. I'm dumb. Okay, survival difficulty class 4, unsafe, moderate entity count, hostile environment. Level 23 is the 24th level of the backrooms. For watchers, here's a photo. Description: Level 23 appears to be an infinite factory, although it appears to be in a state of despair and abandonment. Each of the walls appear to be rusted, occasionally having holes in them. When entering these holes, one will be sent to a small hallway which resembles a claustrophobic cave. After traveling through these caves, one will end up in another room of level 23. A few of the fluorescent ceiling lights also appear beaten with visible weapons such as chainsaws, knives, hammers, and maces lodged deep into them. In addition, various firearms, such as revolvers, Glocks, assault rifles, shotguns, and sniper rifles, can be found on the floor or on a part of the machines. It is also possible to find massive puddles of water on level 23's floor. Each room of level 23 is cluttered with various forms of machines, each of which will produce things such as firearms, objects, entities, rooms, and entire levels. Which each machine appears destroyed, they function perfectly fine. Despite their appearance suggesting otherwise, these machines are powered by one's most prized memories. As such, tampering with a machine will result in it activating, resulting in it losing your most prized memory. After that, you'll become deeply confused on what happened. However, you will eventually realize that you lost your most prized memory. As such, you will become depressed before committing death. As such, level 23's death rate is extremely high. In theory, it could be possible to cure this effect with almond water. However, level 23 is completely devoid of almond water. In addition, if one enters level 23, their whole supply of almond water will disappear or expire. As such, this remains unconfirmed. Various forms of floral life can be found in level 23. From previous documents of level 23, the floral life has overgrown the factory after accidentally being put into one of the machines. Most of the floral life consists of moss, vines, and Venus flytraps. The moss, when stood on for too long, will turn wanderers into a garden statue before they eventually become part of the moss. Vines in level 23 have been described as weed whackers if they whacked humans instead of weeds. When one gets close to a vine, the vine will lash out of them before throwing them against a wall, killing them. Venus flytraps will appear to be much larger, about the size of a smiler. When a Venus flytrap detects a wanderer, it will emit crying sounds, which will lure wanderers to them. Once a wanderer is close enough to the Venus flytrap, it will eat them alive, killing them. There is also a mist of sorts that converts wanderers that enters the mist into more Venus flytraps. However, this mist can easily be repelled with a gas mask. Okay. Storage rooms. Some doors in level 23 will appear to be a shade brighter than usual doors. In addition, there will also be the sound of knocking on the other side of these doors. Entering these doors will lead to small storage rooms. Upon first glance, the rooms appear to be a regular storage room. However, the lights of these rooms will eventually shut down completely. Once this occurs, various TV screens will appear, playing the most prized memories of the various wanderers. This is when a wanderer realizes in horror that level 23's machines work off of prized memories. Higher floors. On occasion, it is possible to encounter robotic claws. When getting near one, they'll grab wanderers and throw them at the ceiling with blunt force. Due to the extreme amount of force, one will break the ceiling and enter the higher floors of level 23. The higher floors of level 23 share a more modernized and fixed look. As such, all the ceiling lights have been repaired. Puddles are now extremely small to the point of being barely noticeable, and various features of level negative 183. These features include the high amounts of other forms of technology, along with jumbles of wires going in these wires result in one being trapped in them before being electrocuted to death. However, there are still some properties from the lower floors of level 23, such as the floral life and machines. Level 23's upper floors are described as somewhat habitable locations, and is said to be a place to relax from the horrors of level 23. Moss takes far much longer to convert one to a garden statue. Vines and Venus flytraps are absent, and the mist is absent. However, it is possible to encounter entities in this section. The chances of encountering an entity is really rare, however. Entities in level 23 include hostile adult facelings, smilers in dark areas, skin stealers, and insanities. Colonies and outposts. Backrooms colonist site Facto. Located on the higher floors of level 23, approximately 10 miles north, a large room which houses around 14 members, stocks up on supplies such as food, first aid kits, and gas masks, and is guarded. Mega Outpost, located 10 miles south from the spawn area of level 23, contains various beds along with food and healing supplies, friendly, highly guarded, and willing to trade. The Outcasts. The Outcast, a hostile community consisting of 14 members. The Outcasts roam both floors of level 23 to search for guns and will occasionally combine them to create new guns. If a member of the Outcast notices one, it will call all the other Outcasts. If this occurs, this means that they are on the hunt and you are most likely going to die. From recent studies, a few members were former members of the backroom colonists and have been exiled for their crimes. Wow. Entrances. An elevator in level 22 will send one to level 23. No clipping through a ceiling tile that feels off. In level 0, the ceiling tile will appear to be a shade darker than level 0's regular ceiling tiles. Entering a factory called Factory NO number 23 in level 11 and the outpost section of level 999. Breaking the floor in level 28. Exits. No clipping through the ceiling. We will send one to level 24. Jumping out of a window is speculated to send you to level 998. Going through a door covered in wires will send one to level negative 183. One of the machines will take you to our game. Is that press start? Yeah, okay. Going outdoors that are engulfed in bright light will send one to level 11. Alright. Whew, okay, I'm glad that one was a bit shorter. Okay. Level 24, the moon. Level 24, the moon. Survival difficulty, class 2E, environmental, unsafe, secure, non-entity hazards. This is a log retrieved from an anomalous 4chan user, ID G31FRFY9. Commence. Person 1. Jesus, where am I? I'm guessing this is level 12, seeing I just came from level 11. Looks like space, and there's low gravity? Yeah, I can somehow still breathe. I'll check out the place later. End. Okay, well, that was short. Level 24 is the 25th level of the backrooms. Ooh, okay, I want to read this image text first. A supposed image of level 24. The image is generally glitched out due to the extreme environment of level 24. So it is just the moon. Description. Level 24, or the moon, is a rocky landscape filled with dusts and craters. This level takes on the appearance of the landscape akin to Earth's moon. Despite its appearance, mathematicians have determined this level to be larger than the moon from the front rooms, at about 61.5 million square kilometers. rather than the Moon's at 38.0 million square kilometers. In the distance far in the sky, you can see what appears to be the Earth, or at least a projection of or replica of Earth. Looking up will also bring what appears to be our Sun into view. Constellations from reality can also be seen in the sky. These constellations are not in the normal configuration. The gravity on level 24 is also altered, or rather reduced, comparably to the Moon, with the constant gravity of negative 1.62 space measurement, I guess. I don't know what it is. In addition to the dust and sand of level 24's landscape, crystals of different colors can rarely be found poking out of the surface. Each crystal is known to producing different environmental or physical effects depending on their colorization. Known crystal colorization or unique effects are as follows: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Red crystals. Red crystals, when in proximity of the wanderer, will heat up the immediate surrounding area to around 130 Celsius at a rate about 1 Celsius per second. After peaking in temperature, the crystal will gradually cool back down. Orange crystals. Orange crystals have the capacity to ignite any organic material on fire upon contact. It is advised to stay away from the crystals unless absolutely necessary. Do not under any circumstances allow this crystal to come in contact with bare skin. Yellow crystals, believed to contain traces of phosphor, continually glow independently, as these crystals are much brighter than their counterparts. They are often brought to other levels to be used as light source. That's nice. Green crystals. Green crystals are consumable and are known to have a faint flavor described as being as a cucumber lime. It is recommended that these crystals are cleaned thoroughly before consuming. Once eaten, biological processes in the body related to healing and immunity are enhanced and sped up. Okay, well that's pretty good. Okay. Blue crystals. Blue crystals, having the opposite effect of the red crystals, will cool down the immediate surroundings to about negative 130 Celsius. When in proximity of the wanderer, this area will cool at a rate about 1 Celsius per second. After reaching negative 130 Celsius, the crystal will slowly return to its normal temperature. Purple crystals. Purple crystals seem to be metaphysical in nature. If a wanderer carries a purple crystal, they'll be able to see from the perspective of another wanderer, nearest to themselves. This other wanderer conditionally must also be holding a purple crystal to activate this crystal. One must hold the crystal and concentrate thinking about the aforementioned wanderers and locations. Entities. Though footprints have been found in the dusk and rocks on level 24, suggesting there may be something lurking around, in quotation marks, no entities have been recorded present on level 24. Continuation of previous log. Commence. Persimmon. I found a glowing yellow crystal in the dusk. Maybe I can use this as a light source, since I lost my flashlight earlier. I'll keep exploring this place. End. Colonies and outposts. Glide, located at a small building situated on a cliff face. This building contains the word glide in Morse code on its roof. Has around 12 members at any given time. Outpost Glide is friendly to traders. The building contains oxygen tanks, almond water, and other supplies. Area was initially revamped by anonymous 4chan user ID G31FR5Y9. Glide Base is an outpost that experiences and researches level 24's mysterious properties. Nice. Okay, entrances. Level 24 can be reached by staring at the sky in level 11 for a time ranging from 4 minutes to 12 hours in length. There is an incredibly rare chance, proven by research, that one can spawn into level 24 if they no-clip into any structure at a specific angle. Listening to Walking on the Moon by the Police on level 1273 will take you to level 24. Exits. It is incredibly easy to leave level 24. To exit, simply grab the earth in the background and bring it to you. Although the feat may look impossible, it is possible and easy to escape this way. This will lead you back to level 11. Find a yellow lamppost to enter the safe place. It is theorized that finding a way to the earth in the background will bring you back to the front rooms. Hidden will take you to level 25. Meditate while staring at a distant star. After a few minutes, close your eyes for a few seconds and open them again. When you open your eyes, you'll be in level 1050. Diving face first into a large cluster has a chance to bring you to level 256. Continuation of previous log. Commence. Person 1. My eyes must be deceiving me. It's a space colony in the distance. Finally, there's something in this wasteland. Is I found some evidence of life here. Alright, so that's level 24. Oh! They finished level 13. Oof, don't want to read it. I'll read it. Just noticed that. Alright, well, you get a bonus level today. Congratulations. You deserve it, probably, hopefully. Level 13. Ooh, that sound. Okay, level 13, Bertram Madness. MS-DOS prompt. A bunch of Microsoft words. Enter. Oh, here we go. The dizzles are soothing, isn't it? Oh, drizzles. Oh, dizzles. Kinda, I guess. It shall be known the calming yet mad greenhouse is an ocean of infinite swallowed beauty. The bouquet flowers and the chromatic facade overshadowing the darkness beneath it. Unknown, 1956. Survival difficulty class 1. Safe, secure, physiology hazards. Level 13 is the 14th level of the backrooms. The initial encounter of level 13 transpired on April 30th, 1934. The oldest known image taken within level 13. The photographer was captured in 1934, indicating that altered its environment over its 80-plus year history. Description. Level 13 is entirely composed of interconnected linear corridors with architecture similar to that of conservatories. More precisely, as a greenhouse which seems to function as a location to host special events. As one may expect, an abundance of furniture in level 13, common appliances such as chairs, tables, and pots with vegetation found in the front rooms, including occasional LED lights hanging on the exposed steel rods beneath the gable roof, are common within level 13. The flooring consists of a straight stone path positioned in the middle, with smaller paths that connect with it. There is a high possibility to trip, as the surface seems to be rocky. Separation in between corridors may occur, occasionally divided by walls constructed out of glass panes or wood planks. The presence of these borders may also imply the accompany of a nearby engine room producing faint noises, which presumably originate from these inaccessible areas. Level 13's overall defense is seemingly afloat amongst an empty, obscure sky. However, no such support that prevails the structure from collapsing has ever been observed. Such conditions may simply prohibit any viewers of the foundation. Yet, on several occasions, the fog with the sky may steadily diminish, meaning that if the occurrence of such anomaly does not exist, it may allow these supports to be seen. Instances of wanderers observing the pillars remain decisive, and entire thesis and exploration have been concocted to simply confirm the existence of these supports, in keeping with the aforementioned instances. The result heavily contradict each other. Besides, these exit to various cases of wanderers witnessing a multitude of landscapes, most commonly an ocean or a desert lying underneath the structure. It is supposed to be a mere illusion, though it is theorized that the phenomenon may imply a whole separate region beneath the halls of level 13. Ooh, my throat's starting to get dry again. Okay. One will come upon separate, similar enclosed areas with an increased concentration of plants which are unlike most regions. Within level 13, they are extremely infrequent, heedless, or their hypothesized purpose as a public greenhouse. The presence of these areas is usually indicated by the abundance of tables and shelves brimming with flowers, bouquets, and pots, alongside a variety of photographs and murals plastered or hung over the roof and walls. It appears these areas are flower shops, whether operational or not, as labels, welcome signs, and price tags are present within these areas, albeit they are mostly left out to be blank, having no text altogether, or even blurred/pixelated by unknown means. It should be noted that the vegetation, including the totality of foods within level 13, such as the plates on the tables containing half-eaten meals, should not be consumed by any means necessary. This compound, which contains an unprecedented version of toxin found in almond water, though specifically small amounts omega glycoside amygdalin directly precedes a continuous cycle of minor bodily pains and difficulties, mainly headaches, dizziness, and nausea when consumed. The effect is suspected to be not enzymatic, exceeds the immediate arrival of its effects/symptoms. Something even before the initial entrance to the body, specifically during chewing of the said plant, the aforementioned cycle, when continuing to bother the victim, may lead to a cardiac arrest following 2 days, if no medical attention is present, which may be able to delay their inevitable fate. Following a multitude of tests, I had most likely come to the closest to replicating the toxin, a breed of an almond plant containing an unnatural concentrated, big science word, mixed with chyogenetic glycosides, creates a compound wherein bears an almost identical consistency, lethal, and color of that of the unknown poison. Ingram something something. Weather and climate within level 13 persists in being consistent throughout years, remaining at an average temperature of 15 to 20 degrees Celsius regardless of the time of day. Rainfall in level 13 is an hourly Rainfall in level 13 is an hourly phenomenon. An occasional storm may occur within each particular week. The day and night cycle in this level is arbitrary, possessing no noticeable pattern. The duration of daylight and nightfall is disorderly, which is obscene, determined by the level itself. An orange tint within the sky signifies nightfall, and its instantaneous fading into the hue denotes the dawn of daylight. The substance the rain is made out of has a scent similar to almond water. However, it cannot be confirmed the said substance is precisely almond water, as no consumption of the liquid has ever been attempted due to the rarity of holes that may allow one to collect them. In addition to the walls of level 13, which are constructed out of indestructible glass. In a sort, while one may discern music from a distance, the main constant of the anomaly is captivating party-like harmony. The source of the outlying music remains indefinite, as any electronic devices encountered within level 13 is not operational. It has been reasoned the music may be nothing more than a hallucination, yet in several recordings occurring in this level, the music can still be heard within the audio. The music may perhaps originate from an undocumented entity, potentially luring wanderers with the catchy tunes before attacking. Yet the music remains to fade away, not to mention the distance between the entity and the wanderers serves no significance. In the nature of the entity's behavior and the theorized method of attack, remaining constant as the entity, in quotation marks, moves further away from the wanderer. Moreover, it appears that entering level 13 with the company of another person is virtually impossible, as all discovered exits have been attested to constantly fail when utilized with a separate group/individual. Whilst it is not known if the anomaly alters the position in which an exit is present to initially prevent wanderers from ever returning, or merely an attempt to return its solitary nature. Certainly every expedition shall be alone. Nevertheless, it should be noted one is more hypothetical to enter level 13 inadvertently, only occurring during specific situations such as an accidental no-clip, an overwhelming compulsion/unwanted desire to enter an area which may lead to level 13, or simply a chase involving them and an entity which ends in a hit to the wall and losing consciousness followed by an awakening at level 13. Madness. Winds blast over precarious corridors, monotonous furniture stuck in time, for it to repeat boundlessly behind. Outlooking the translucent walls, limitless deception view of lush terrain blankets the foggy nullity. Shall one even glimpse as slightly with faith long gone, perhaps the mind would entwine. Falling behind the dead silence, one fades into the beyond. The obscurity will remain until eternity, having an insignificant existence far too familiar for us humans, whom are plagued within the infinite beauty. Those who succumbed remain forgotten, eternally far away from home, lost beyond the plains of existence. No sight of death inside pristine corridors shone upon us, yet we sense a feeling of the bloody. Alternation commences, recognition dissipates, may the greenhouse glamorize inconsistency. Though alone, whilst upon an appearance of a new civilization, the greenhouse shall be awakened, thus anew the cycle continues. Okay. And that is totally it. That is totally it. There is nothing else. Okay, at level 25, Anomaly. Okay. Accessed August 7th, 2013. Property of the Meg. It is to be left alone. Begin log. Person 1. Hello? Anyone there? This doesn't look like our home. Person 2. Oh, there you are. We were waiting for you. We just wanted to do a little surprise party, so we redecorated the home, giving it a fresh, futuristic look. Hope you like it. Huh? House. Looks mildly different from the last time I saw it. It seems like the walls moved. That's because they did. You got a keen eye, mister. We called our construction crew to renovate, like what you see. I don't understand. How did he do this? I was only away from work for 2 hours. 2? No, this project took months. But how did you... You were gone for a whole year, redacted. I wasn't. I just left the same house 2 hours ago. What are you talking about? Time is power, redacted. This project doesn't take long. I'm skeptical. You should be. They'll arrive in approximately 30 minutes. Hold tight until then. Who's they? You'll know in 30 minutes. End log. Survival difficulty class 3, unsafe, unsecure, moderate entity count. You understand. Just be patient. Situation 25 is the 26th oddity of the backrooms. Our systems detect a disturbance in the space-time continuum. They'll come to fix it. You don't need to worry. Description. Situation 25 is a restricted area. Only authorized individuals are allowed to enter. Access by external groups is to be banned. Spacesuits are required for entry. You're not home, but they'll ensure that you feel like you're home. Give it a few moments. They'll help you renovate. The Meg is conferring with them, establishing a peace treaty. They once attacked any humans they roamed across their land, but thanks to Meg's efforts, perhaps we can call this place our habitable home. Futuristic technology, genome editing, artificial gardens, and this area has room for potential colonies where wanderers can thrive in the backrooms. The entire area is locked in the midpoint between day and night. Is dusk coming or is dawn coming? The sun glows a bright orange, illuminating the sky. They've harnessed the solar power of the blaze, providing enough energy to sustain life for the next century. Roses, daisies, and pine trees thrive in the artificial garden where LED lights replace the sun, which is too far away for the plants to perform photosynthesis, which the overgrown of the canopy has created a miniature forest with its grassy path, tall redwoods, and even a small stream with a clean drinking water. We're not entirely sure how the forest works. Despite its being an enclosed area, Funa have appeared. They can be seen eating the berries or rustling in the leaves. In crossed-out text, scientists have taken these creatures in for research on level 11, but they do not resemble any identified species. Nothing leaves this place. Everything may stay in Situation 25, so as to keep the area top secret until it is ready. They'll make sure all confidential files and objects remain inside. Guards at the door will check belongings and do a thorough search to ensure nothing leaks. Access will open to the public later on. For now, discussion must happen behind closed doors. They promise. It'll be ready soon. Escape plan. The sun's power is unfortunately unstable. Should the society ever stop functioning, we'll direct all of you to the exits. There are several doors near Lab 01 that will take you back to Situation 24, Level 24. Keep the spacesuits on. It is required to breathe there. However, there is more desperate situations can take their emergency exit close to our dining hall. Take a sharp left, and there will be a fake wall. Knock on said wall, and the wall will pull away to reveal a thrilling forest of blue skies and plentiful vegetation. No one, to our knowledge, has ever taken that exit. If they have, they've never returned. So this level is a bit weird, because it's not a level, it's a situation. Which is weird. But let's move on to level 26, Forest of Psychos. Okay, level 26, Forest of Psychos. Survivor difficulty class, weird pitchfork type shape. Unsafe, unsecure, mental hazard. Level 26 of this 27th level of the backrooms. Description. Level 26 is a huge rainforest with strange properties. The rainforest has purple leaves and grass. Some bodies of water can pull you down into the depths, and the gravity is inverted in some areas of the rainforest. The leaves, just like in reality, produce a gas and release it into the air, but instead of oxygen, it is an unknown gas. While breathable, it makes both auditory and visual hallucinations. These hallucinations are unintelligible, whispering sounds and visions of dark shadow humanoids, or sounds and versions of your old memories from in reality. These hallucinations will make you go insane and become more and more common the more you breathe it in. Level 26 is locked in daytime and has a chance to rain for a random amount of time. Despite there being no clouds in the sky, the rain is safe to drink, although large amounts of it in a certain time span can cause fainting, so you shouldn't drink any more than a liter within 3 hours. Sinking water. Water that pulls you down is called sinking water. If the water pulls you in, it'll be extremely hard for you to swim back up. And if it's shallow water, it'll magically make itself deeper until it's about 10 to 15 feet deep. The water can only pull you in if you already got in it yourself, and since there's no known way to tell the difference between it and regular water, it's recommended to avoid rivers and ponds entirely. Flip zones. Flip zones are areas that have inverted gravity. Going into a flip zone is extremely dangerous due to the fact that it's very hard to get out of without the right tools. Taking too long to get out of the area will make you rise up until the atmosphere is so thin you can't even breathe. And even if you get out, you're most likely still going to die. If you're too high up from the landing, the good thing is that it's easy to tell where these areas are since the plant colors are a lot more desaturated. The only thing that doesn't seem to be affected by the gravity change is the dirt, soil, rocks, and leaves. If you fall into a flip zone, you might be lucky enough to find a tree that has leaves strong enough to catch any wanderer that fall into the sky of flip zone. Fall into the sky of a flip zone. The cabin. Near the entrance of the level, you can find a small cabin made out of logs and sticks and has a wooden door. The cabin is a lot bigger on the inside, and inside the cabin is a seemingly infinite maze made out of wood, and is made up of rooms and hallways. There are occasional windows that are either completely whited out or blacked out, and the ones that are whited out glow and produce a dim light. The cabins have light bulbs hanging from the ceiling by a wire, and has tables, chairs, and couches throughout it. The tables and chairs are made out of wood, and the couches are made out of leather. The only way to exit is to find a claustrophobic hole and going through it to enter level 19 or level 27. Or just go back to the entrance of the cabin to enter the rainforest again. Colonies and Outposts, BMG Base Alpha. Uses the wood from the trees and the stone below the level to make supplies. They have somehow found a way to negate the air's anomalous properties and refuse to tell anyone how they did it. They are not willing to trade and won't let anyone come near their base. That's sad. Entrances and exits. Entrances. Flying down a tree in level 14 will transport you here as soon as you hit the ground. Hopping over the side of level 942 and entering the forest will take you here. Level 26 can be entered by wandering far enough into level 66 until the plants start to turn purple. Staying long enough in the purple area will eventually take you here. There is a rumor that this level can be entered from level 25 by touching an extremely rare purple leaf in the artificial garden. Exits. Going through a hole in the cabin to enter either level 19 or level 27. Climbing up a really tall tree has a chance of the leaves turning orange. When this happens, go back down the tree and you'll be in level 140. Entering and exiting a tree house will bring you to level 1597. It's theorized that if you go insane, you'll get transported to another level since there have been no reported sightings of any insanities here. Okay. Level 27, Wooden Walls of Tortured Souls. Yeah, level 27, Wooden Walls of Tortured Souls. Survival difficulty, class undetermined, mysterious properties, unknown information, undocumented entities. Level 27 is the 28th level of the backrooms. Description. Level 27 appears to be an infinite labyrinth of wooden hallways, varying in style and design as you wander the level. Sometimes it looks like a cabin, and other times there are floors made out of carpet. Furniture may start to appear more or less frequently depending on where you are in the level. Some of the walls are weaker than others, and sometimes they're so weak that they are akin to paper. Sometimes doors may appear. It is recommended to avoid them since most of the time they're locked and entities tend to be on the other side. Knocking sounds can sometimes be heard on the other side of the walls and doors, but nobody has been able to find out what's making the noise. Light bulbs can be found all around the level, with some of them being broken or dimmer than others. Electrical outlets can be found throughout the level, but plugging anything into them will cause anyone touching them to be electrocuted to death. Vents can be found all around the level, and scratching, banging, and stomping can be heard in them. It is unknown what is causing these sounds, as nothing notable has been found in them yet. It is interesting to note that the picture has a description called A Picture of Hell. But, it's probably fine. Okay. This level has an anomalous property to make wanderers in it feel a sense of paranoia, getting worse the longer they stay in the level. After a few seconds of thinking, it will go away as you realize that there's nothing and then come back again. The process will continually repeat until the Lights Out event. Lights Out event. An event known as the Lights Out event can happen randomly every 1 to 240 hours in the level. When this event happens, all lights in the level will turn off and the level will have black fog lingering in the lower half of the level. Entities which are otherwise uncommon in this level will become very common to encounter. The knocking sounds will become a lot more frequent, and sometimes parts of the ceiling may collapse on you. Many wanderers have reported seeing eyes in the distance during this event, but they don't seem hostile and are most likely hallucinations. This event lasts for around 1 hour on average. Entities. Entities here include female death moths, smilers, child facelings, and hounds. Tortured souls. Whatever you do, do not die in this level. Dying here is much worse than dying in other levels, since this level will take souls of the deceased and turn them into entities named tortured souls. Tortured souls are trapped within the walls of the level and will make the designs of the wood vaguely resemble a screaming face. When the lights are turned off, the level will release the tortured souls and make them attack. We do not want this. You cannot see tortured souls directly, but they will still cast a shadow if light is shined on them. Their shadows suggest that they are vaguely humanoid entities that are 7 feet tall. Colonies and outposts. Us. We've been trapped in this hell you call level 27. We have lost control of ourselves. We have turned into his puppets. And when he's done with us, he throws us back into the prison of the wooden walls. We feel nothing but mental agony. If you are reading this, please save us, poor souls. Let us free. Let us free. Entrances and exits. Entrances! Do not attempt any of these. We are warning you. Okay. You can enter level 27 by entering a hole in the cabin of level 26. Wanderers have claimed that one can enter from level 0 by tearing off the carpet and breaking through the floor. Basements in one of level 39's houses will lead one to this level. Entering a door with a wooden frame on level 387 has a small chance to take you here. No clip into a computer at level 653, and then you will end up here. Exits. Turning on a TV will take you to level 28. Let us escape from this wretched place. Let us escape from this wretched place, and he will reward you with a lovely place to stay. And then the link says that this will lead to the safe levels, so I guess that's good. That's funny. They forgot to... They're part of their code for the website still here. Okay. Unfortunate wanderers, doomed to fate worse than death because of a small mistake. That is us, the tortured souls. And it could be you too. Alright. We're almost done with technically 11 levels, but I'm not really going to count level 13 as I don't want to ruin your sunshine moment. Level 28, the laboratory. Okay. Survival difficulty class 0, safe, secure, and devoid of entities. Level 28 is the 29th level of the backrooms and served as the former research laboratory for the backrooms research team. Description: Level 28 takes the appearance of an abandoned science laboratory, similar to that of a modern laboratory. In the front rooms, broken machinery, chemical spills, and flickering LED lights are prevalent. The walls of laboratories are painted white. Microscopes and computers line the tables, and notes can be seen scattered on the floor. There is evidence to suggest that the backrooms research team used to conduct experiments in this area between the years 1996 and 2018. But the reason why this area was abandoned is currently unknown. When a wanderer first enters this level, there will be a short hallway with doors specifying multiple fields of scientific study. Entering the door will lead you to an area that would resemble an abandoned laboratory seemingly dedicated to the scientific area of study. An extensive table containing each specific field of study and any notable equipment inside the study's laboratory was found on a wall. It will be posted below. Okay. Okay, I have to read it like this, apparently. A word of warning. None of the experiment and the laboratory's work. If you attempted to restart the machinery, and even going as far as calling an engineer to come fix the equipment, but to no avail. However, this does not give anyone free rein to mess around with the machinery. While it may not perform its intended duties, accidents can and have occurred despite their status. In addition, in some cases, the equipment may perform some unexplainable tasks outside of its intended uses. Wanderers have reported machinery switching on and off randomly, coming alive, and transforming into hostile entities. However, none of this information can be verified. Assuming none of the equipment is messed with, this laboratory is perfectly safe to wander. The current backrooms research team, situated in level 11, is attempting to figure out why such a place was abandoned. They have researched this area and collected any notes of significance that could help solve the mystery. If wanderers in this level see any notes that might be helpful, we encourage them to forward the notes to the laboratory in level 11 or to Meg. A few notes, most in email form, will be posted below. Understand that authorized access is required to view them. Attempting to hack into the database will result in a harsh punishment. Backrooms researchers only. The circumstances leading to the disappearance of the 43 scientists to the original Backrooms research team has yet to be known. Signs constantly point to homicide, but their bodies cannot be found. The investigation is still ongoing, currently being conducted by current Backrooms research team for now. We suggest avoiding level 28 until further notice. The Meg is treating this area as a crime scene. The vacuum chamber will be moved to the current research laboratory for further investigation. Colony is an outpost. The Backrooms research team, while it no longer calls this place its home, now opting to do research in its dedicated laboratory building in level 11, the Backrooms research team performed experiments on entities, matter, and time while it still used this building. Their notes can be seen scattered around the floor on the level, detailing incidents and successes, led by Dr. Ben Gremlitz. This small team of researchers, having approximately 43 members, discovered shocking results that would enhance our knowledge of the Backrooms as a whole. Lots of their research has been uploaded to the database to inform wanderers of the dangers and sights that lie ahead. The exact cause for abandonment of this level is unknown, however, we cannot ask any of the original researchers, as they have all disappeared, presumed dead. No traces of their whereabouts exist in the laboratory, and it has been theorized that equipment malfunctions or malevolent beings may have erased their bodies from existence. The Backroom Security Force Meg Subdivision. The Backroom Security Force is always present on this level, preventing unauthorized users from accessing the laboratories. While Curie is searching for evidence and data that could provide more information about the disappearance in the Backrooms research team, attempting to force their way into this level will get you a stern warning from the security guards at the entrance. However, the guards will refrain from using force unless you continuously disobey their orders. The security force will likely abandon this level once the investigation finishes. If it ever does, for now, guards will stop any wanderers from entering this level. Any evidence found in the investigation is turned over to the Backrooms research team for further analysis. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the head of subdivision, Derek Games. He is currently out for a mission in level 70, but his contact information will be listed below. Is that an actual phone number? I'm not going to call it, but someone else can. Entrances and exits. Entrances. Warning. The entrances have been redacted. This is a top secret area that should only be accessible by high-ranking MAG members and Backrooms research team scientists. Find a TV at level 27. You can enter this level from level 596.1, but how this is achieved is currently unknown. No clipping into a gas station of level 2335 can lead here. Finding a car in level 940 can lead here. Exits. Exit the same way you came. It will bring you back to where you entered from. Certain machines, when tampered with, will take you to level 29. Speaking of level 29, we're heading to it. Okay. Level 29, Sunrise and Set. Okay. Survivor difficulty class 3E, Environmental. Unsafe, unsecure, non-entity hazards. Level 29 is the 30th level of the Backrooms. Woo. Okay, this level is set in an abandoned neighborhood. The neighborhood is usually dark since the area's time is stuck in a loop of sunsets and sunrises. Once the sun rises into the sky, it falls back out of visibility and stays hidden for several minutes and makes this area almost impossible to navigate without a light source. The streets of the neighborhood, when walked on, at some point teleport you back to a different point in the streets. This stops any wanderers from exploring outside of the area. The neighborhood is also devoid of any electricity or running water. The neighborhood is much like an average neighborhood. There is no sign of any destructive events happening in this area, although no one lives there. The level seems to have been full of life at one point, but whoever lived here is nowhere to be found. It's almost as if everyone who lived in level 29 died spontaneously, as evidenced by cars left in the middle of the streets, seeming paused, and some cars still having available gas. The neighborhood has many houses in it, with various items that could be useful. There are also a couple of corpses of other travelers who fell victim to the paranormal whispers from the houses. See entities or confirmed whispers for more information on these paranormal whispers. The house looks average with the usual types of furniture in them. Okay. Found items. There are multiple night vision cameras and goggles all over level 29. They can come in handy when navigating through the dark terrain. In the backyards of a few of these households, there are homemade gardens of edible plants. The plants could possibly be tampered with or eaten through, so it is not a reliable food source inside households. It is common to find weapons, knives, etc. Water, mainly almond water, and many other objects. Many travel code products are found here as well. Entities. This level is without entities, but instead there's a different danger. It has been observed that travelers who step into the houses at level 29 hear whispers that lure them into a false sense of security. This results in the unfortunate victim being influenced into a hypnotic state. In this hypnotic state, the victim lies or sits on a chair, couch, or bed, or etc., and stays in this position until ultimately dying of thirst or hunger, whatever one comes first. This can easily be avoided by blocking your ears with something. Even though this is easily avoided, there are still victims because people who wander into houses without realizing the danger. It is unknown whether these whispers are entities or some sort of natural occurrence in level 29. Colonies and outposts, 29 inhabitants. Level 29 clearly was home to many, since there is food and water in the households. There are also many photos of the inhabitants of their houses appearing happy in the photos, most of which were taken with a night vision camera. It is unknown why or what happened to the inhabitants of this level, but it is serious that they were evacuated in a hurry or killed/disappeared instantly. Confirmed whispers. This section is a list of voices heard by travelers in the houses of level 29. You're home now. You're home now. Don't leave us. Stay. Welcome home. You will never leave. The whispers are described to be faint and hard to hear. Entrances and exits. Entrances. No clipping in the first area of level 572 will lead you here. That's the only entrance. Exits. Some doors in houses send you to a random level when entered. No clipping through a wall in houses may bring you to level 1. Entering into a house while wearing a night vision goggle has a 70% chance to transfer you to level 925. Swimming may take one to level 30. Somehow dying during sunset will take you to level 742. Woo! We got another 11 to go. I'm so happy. Okay, level 30. Waves don't die. Survival difficulty class 3. Unsafe, unsecure. Moderate entity count. Level 30 is the 31st level of the backrooms. Description. Level 30 is comprised of a large evidence with a series of interconnected indoor pools. The level contains 2 floors in total, accommodating 5 different pool areas, each named after dwarf planets. These used to be 8 stations, however the absent ones were deemed as hazardous, as 2 of them were detected with high levels of cadmium cadmium. Bad stuff. Mercury, and lead present in the water, and the third one had an unknown entity. They were soon quarantined and protected by the Meg. Don't trust the intercom suggesting to go there. It's a trap, still being investigated by authorities. It is considerably hard to find another explorer at this level, as the facilities are very big. Apart from all the machines and systems operating in the pools, the complex itself is very quiet, with the silence only being interrupted by humans. Occasionally, level 30 is reserved by Meg employees, as stated before. Eventually, if one of the pool systems stop operating correctly, they'll be the first ones to do maintenance. The stations are in a stationary, never-changing order. They are divided by signs placed between them. The building is surrounded by big windows present in every single station, with the outside being a very foggy landscape, with the site seeming to be a forest. The second floor is similar than the first, as it only accommodates the employees of the business. In total, the building has an approximate 600,000 square kilometers, 230,000 square miles. One can go from one pool area to another by one of the multiple moving walkways located around the level. One of the second floors one may find authorized personnel-only doors designated by the Meg employees. Log 001 retrieved. Meg employee 1. Frick! They made us quarantine our invention. We spent years manipulating that bacteria just for it to become trapped. Meg employee 2. You know how groups around here are. If we didn't do that, they wouldn't start to notice. Pretty dumb move, if you ask me, especially after people were falling for the trap. Wait, they were? No way they can be that stupid. Yep, you know how people are around here. Crazy. By the way, audio interference. Audio interrupted. Okay. Oh my. Lanza. Okay. There's a bunch of tabs again. Yay. I'm so happy. Sears is known to be the most recognizable area on level 30. In most of the cases, it's the station that one would no-clip into after exiting a certain level. It is home to several water slides and amenities. The stores present on the installation were abandoned a long time ago due to the insalubrious conditions. They were soon raided by the individuals of the level. Vending machines were present until explorers managed to exploit the circuit. As time passed, inhabitants of the area started unofficial restaurants that were soon noticed and managed by the Meg. The organization supplies them with proper food and other supplies to maintain their business. That's pretty nice. While also creating other sources of food for others who live in level 30. Nowadays, the facility shelters numerous minor and major outposts settled by the adventurers of level 30. The Pluto area is a thematic station. It was designed as a water park representing the ocean and its elements such as fauna and flora. To complement the theme, mechanic statues of aquatic animals are placed there, suiting the topic of the area. However, that event wasn't received so well by the individuals of the level, as it passed an eerie feeling, possibly by the fear of the unknown, or simply because they had other related phobias. By this unfortunate event, the station is practically abandoned nowadays, serving the purpose more of an exposition to humans that pass by. The Make station doesn't follow the pool subject as the other areas. Make was designed to be a space that people could relax, explained by the saunas and jacuzzis around the settlement. A big number of functioning restaurants can also be seen there. It is estimated to be the second most populated section of level 30, falling behind Sears. The installation also accommodates some colonies. The Hume area isn't a station per se, instead it is a failed attempt of expanding the Meg offices in the first floor instead of the second floor. Some years ago, the Meg employees of the level developed a plan to create new offices in the first floor, aiming to increase the security of the beings on level 30, while also making the process faster. However, due to bad drainage layouts and a very extreme case of leakage in the area, as time passed, the employees dedicated to improvise, as it is an additional station. Even if conditions there were very unstable, the entrances there isn't recommended, and the exit isn't guaranteed. I get what they mean by a very extreme case of leakage when the water or the pool is right above you and has no glass and it's just kind of sitting there. Iris is a place that was used as an experimental water park in the past. Early reports indicate that the station is supposed to look like a very confusing place to be. People don't appreciate the concept of the area, and the settlement was considered as abandoned after a few years. Nowadays, the place serves as an expedition of the I can't speak, of the level. It also serves the purpose of being the subject of studies from builder colonies present in the backrooms, as they try to discover how such exquisite sites of water slides were installed so close from each other. Underwater restaurants also take place here, where people could dine under a glass and acrylic tunnel, but it was also virtually abandoned. Soon after, the establishment was progressively invaded by individuals trying to obtain the food that was left there. Okay. Arcus and Sedna are two of the three sections that needed to be quarantined from the rest of the areas. The reason behind this was that, as mentioned before, the levels of mercury, lead, and cadmium, bad chemicals, in the water were very high. Before the unfortunate incident, both areas were very populated, maintaining some secondary colonies that settled there a long time ago. While Arcurius was more designated to accommodate a big system of water slides, Sedna was a home to an artificial wave machine dedicated to train surfers in their sport. After the environment was protected, the machine stopped functioning, and they didn't plan to repair it soon, according to themselves. The Quayar area was a single station. Register cases of the hydraulic plagues seen around the entity's heading. It is located in the most eastern part of the level, and it was generally considered as a hard place to visit, as it has demanded a lot of time to go there. Before the incident, the stations had its select group of people that generally visited the place to hang out, eventually forming an outpost there. After the plague occurrence, they relocated to Ceres area, forming the Pier as water colony. During the resettling, two of the explorers were infected by the hydraulics, unfortunately dying days after Meg employees made tributes to the individuals in the middle of the level. Okay. Colonies and outposts. Pure as water, located in Cirrus Station. This group has around 185 associates, composed by friendly wanderers that choose to stay in the area. They are mostly open for trade, and they will accept new members. The Good Life. Settled in the Make area, it is established that they have 95 members. This outpost was created by progressive migration events from other areas. They are always accepting new people. Entities. There are currently 2 entities reported on level 30, Facelings and Hydraulic Plague. Facings. Some specimens of child facings can be seen outside the main building, banging on the windows, presumably wishing to enter the edifice. So far, as no definite entrance from outdoors has been reported, they won't cause harm to explorers. Most of them can be seen wearing proper swimwear to pools, such as swimsuits and swim shorts. Hydraulic Plague. Hydraulic Plague, commonly referred to as just hydraulics, is a level exclusive entity present on level 30 that originated in the Quayar area in a long time ago. It can be detected as bacteria, likely spread by contact with the toxic water present on the station. The general symptoms are fever, weakness, and headache. It mainly targets the blood cells and tissue. In severe cases, it may cause eternal bleeding, necrosis, pneumonia, thrombosis, coma, and death. The symptoms can get progressively worse as the bacteria settles itself inside the body of the host. It can be transmitted by direct blood-to-blood contact or airborne transmission. After the protection of the station where it was first detected, the disease was contained as controlled. However, the employees do not intend to reopen the area soon. Whew, okay. Entrances. No clipping underwater on level 67 can transport explorers to level 30. No clipping the transverse waves of the pools at level -33 will take you here. No clipping through the walls of the pool rooms on level will send you here. Diving in a lake that has a sign next to it saying Make on level 245 will teleport you here. Will teleport you to here. Exits. Entering an employee's only door in one of the abandoned stores may lead one to level 4. Swimming deep enough in the curious area will cause you to pass out and wake up in level 341. Certain entrances in the Make and Humia areas may lead one to level 37. No clipping through a bookshelf and pool Make will send you to level 33. Entering the outflow of one of the pools will lead one to level 84. Seeing a steampunk-themed corridors somewhat in Cirrus and Make, entering it will lead you to level 2.1, instantly and unnoticed. Entrances in level 37 may be found in the Claire and Humar areas of level 30. A continuation of Log 0 was detected. Log 001 was detected. Would you like to open it? Yes. Okay. Gary, what the? Restarts recording. Beg employee 2. What about the office? Other employee interrupts. Employee 1. Office? You must be new around here. Yes, I am. Why do you ask? Even after I explained to you about our invention and our plan, you still think we had an accident while building the office? Really? Oh, okay. I'm understanding it now. Still, that water park now serves for reducing population and making chemical experiments with humans. Even after they're dead? Yes. It's orders from above. I can't do anything about it, you know? I think they should do even more because Gary steps closer. Hey, you piece of sh... Static deafens. End of log 001. Okay. Okay. Level 31. Oversaturation. Survival difficulty class 3. Unsafe, unsecure, moderate entity count. Level 31 is the 32nd level of the backrooms. I can hear my mom giving out candy to trick-or-treaters. Halloween be like. Description. Level 31 is a small room measuring 3 meters by length, 2 meters by width, and 2.5 meters in height. The walls, ceiling, and floor of the room are made out of non-porous materials that change with each exploration, including but not limited to PVC plastic, metals, and porcelain. The room is always painted in a greenish-blue color and lit with one bright overhead fluorescent light. Within the center of the room is a single white table with a chair, both made with non-porous materials, usually metal. The room has no doors, windows, or any form of physical exits. Level 31 has several anomalous properties when a person sits on this chair in the room. Writing will begin to appear on the surface of the table, seemingly written by a black permanent marker. The manifest text is usually a reminder to the person sitting on the chair to consume enough liquids to keep healthy. Several variations of the reminder have been documented, including drink liquid, stay hydrated, water is life, and 8 cups a day keeps the doctors away. After the text manifests, one glass cup filled with standard grade drinking water with a volume of approximately 4 liters will appear on the white table in front of the person sitting in the chair. It is unknown this level is able to produce regular water as it does not appear to be almond water. Though multiple explorations of this level, it is discovered that if the person sitting on the chair falls into drinking the entire volume of the glass cup within 24 hours, the internal humidity level of the room will increase by approximately 10%. Other than that, failure to drink the entire volume of the glass cup will also cause it to refill itself. Usually with water, though unknown means, breaking the cup will cause another fully filled cup to appear on the table. It is possible for the glass cup to refill itself with liquids other than drinking water. Liquids produced also may not be fit for human consumption. Documented liquids include Kool-Aid, early grey tea, milk, natural coconut juice, vodka, and even acids like hydraulic acid, nitric acids, and sulfuric acid. Level 31 has a constant natural humidity level of 20%. When first entered, as previously stated, failure to consume the liquids produced in the glass cup will result in the increase of the humidity level. When the humidity level of the room is allowed to rise to a high level, a white fog will begin to form inside of the room, obscuring vision and making the breathing significantly difficult. The fog does not disperse and gets denser in line with the humidity level. If the humidity level is allowed to raise to 100%, the fog will start to condense into liquid water and at a steady pace, slowly filling the room with water as the room is made out of non-porous material. It does not allow for water to escape. Death due to drowning, pulmonary edema, or suffocation is certain if the room reaches this stage. As of date, there is no records of anyone surviving this stage. Colonies and outposts. Due to nature of this level, colonies and outposts are unable to be established. Entrances and exits. Entrances. If you cast the droplets of almond water dripping out the ceiling at level -1, you'll be transported here. Entering the number 31 on the vending machine in level 36 will transport you here. If you survive for 24 hours and drink the lake water from level primal, you'll be transported here. If you give exactly 3 liters of almond water to one of the soldiers in level 1918, they'll knock you out and you'll wake up here. No clipping through a wall with a drainage pipe in level 201 will bring you here. The only known way of exiting level 1 is to survive 8 days in the level. Doing so will have a chance of transporting the survivor into level 32 with decreasing order of frequency. Okay. Level 32 has no data, so we're going to level 33, Infinite Library. Okay, level 44, Proposal, level 33, transferred as of November 7th, 2021. Notice, this is a Class 5 Major Exploration Group page. Overturning is immediately at order of the impressionations and possible by order of Editorial Council. Continue. Okay, but before we start reading this level, I wasn't paying attention to anything on the last level. I was thinking about other things, but I still read it, so you guys got to pay attention to it. So, yeah, anyway. Level 33 is an expansive library or some form of near limitless knowledge, similar to the Library of Babel. Although lacking in a requirement of 410 page works in a specific genre. This level holds presumably infinite number of books. The genre varies fantasy, sci-fi, and even unknown genres, unknown languages, and all-around gibberish. This is not to mention that the library also contains books of other worlds. Although anyone could understand this due to the aforementioned number, henceforth the entirety of human history, both of our world and others, exists plentiful, with millions of copies of just one letter misspelled, moved, or one otherwise character rearranged. Due to the aforementioned number, as well as the library, exists throughout thousands of copies of diaries with one letter misspelled or one character moved. This library is proposed to have a roof with around 300 feet high and limitless halls stretching across the cosmos. It is almost always a day, with the 3-hour exception, 21-hour daytime. The numerical value of halls is of course undetermined. However, it shall be known that it's the beginning of the libraries where we know something as the Kayer thesis, in which is a common quote by Philip K. Dick is proven wrong. The more that believes in something, the more real it becomes. Thus, near the beginning of the library, believed to only appear in the backrooms due to the appearance of the Meg and other groups. It is easy to find halls entirely dedicated to the major explorer group, the Kingdom of Clarn, the Impressions, and more. Thankfully, entities are not known to exist within the level. Nevertheless, it is possible due to its sheer size. ADEM 001. Tests being initiated on strange books in the library. This will be stated in the following table. Tests. Member something B096. November 12th, 2012. Excerpt. Readers. The severity of common exposure to several books on level 33, the library is on a level greater than that much of the major explorer group, and has been before it has 37th August incidents as a widespread cause of such, then it would be a major impossibility to remove these works of literature from the beginning of the library. Nevertheless, impossibility is an illusion, thus I command further testing upon the therefore aforementioned for the sake of man. It is impressive to remove any copies of this literature. Okay, sorry. Effective immediately. Authorization of termination. Towards those of the possible revealing the aforementioned, it is granted, although not moral, despite the times can call for desperate measure. Desperate times can call for desperate. I cannot read. Okay. Oddities. Although all the same aforementioned will be listed here due to major exploration group proper format. Day-night cycle. The day-night cycle within the library seems to be 21 hours day, 3 hours night, which is odd due to the space of the library infinite. This oddly remains unsolved. Spectral anomalies. Obviously, the library, as aforementioned, is a spectral anomaly consisting of a literally infinite amount of space. Applied with the day and night cycle, there is a clear oddity as how is it rotating occurring if the library is an infinite plane. For Mater, inapplicable. I cannot read. Inapplicability. There is no definitive writer or course of the knowledge in the library. Notable books. The first, The Story. The First, The Story is a book detailing the life of the first alongside the Impressionists and their impacts on history. The Major Exploration Group. The back of this book reads. Just letting you know, when it does that, there's nothing that I can read out of that, so. Oh, wait, never mind. I just saw it. Sorry. The Major Exploration Group, a full historical guide, detailing the beginning of the Major Exploration Group in the 1800s to the modern day, to 2200s, with our wonderful technology and power. Civilization is looking well, but we must ask ourselves, what was life like for the people that lived just over 200 years ago? For the Meg, well, this is your guide to that as well. Question. Is the following is logged as of dates and times. Do you believe that stumbling upon the library could be dangerous? Of course, stumbling upon an infinite amount of knowledge would be a blessing for the majority of my colleagues. However, an average man coming across a library would be devastation. The Major Exploration Group, the Impressionario, and possibly the front rooms. 2. Does the library have knowledge on impossible things, such as running at light speed, etc.? Reread my proposal, or of course, I quite obviously stated the library had infinite knowledge, even if something that is impossible here, it may be possible elsewhere, and that plenty of no clip through a wall to get into a strange dimension. What is impossible to you, mostly assured, I say to you, the only assured thing in life is death and taxes. Question 3. Does the library mentioned exist within any known level? Likely not, although I can't debunk this claim. With most certain variety, this would be an immense specular anomaly. Of all my studies, this is the only level to truly be infinite in properties. Question 4. Does the library have knowledge on entering the front rooms? Cite question 2, child. There is no entrances or exits, apparently, so... A lot of these levels are starting to get real weird. Okay. Level 34, Sewage Swimming. Let's get the crap out of it. Okay, we got noise for this one. Loud noise. Survivor difficulty class by B. B. That could be D, but it looks like B. Unsafe, unsecure, environmental dangers. Level 34th, 35th level seconds. Description. Yeah, I'm gonna... Level 34 is an infinite network of claustrophobic sewer tunnels that think similar to Level 0 and Level 3. Each of the tunnels are narrow and enclosed, some requiring wanderers to crawl through them. The architecture of the tunnels consists of bricks in the upper half and stone in the lower half. The ceiling is low, only being 4 feet between the ceiling and the floor. The floor itself is made out of asphalt and can occasionally give way, resulting in flooded holes leading to level -2. As such, level 34's ground is highly burdened to walk on, as it could give way at any moment. Pipes can be seen on the walls and ceilings of level 34's tunnels. These pipes bear a similarity appearance to level 2 and level 3's pipes. They leak out regularly, contaminating water. Very rarely, these pipes will leak out a huge amount of water, resulting in flooding a tunnel. Due to level 34's age, being one of the first few levels of the backrooms created, level 34 appears to be highly abandoned. Parts of level 34 may fall off and getting hit by one will usually result in being knocked out and waking up completely forgetting everything. How to walk, how to talk, and even how to breathe. Almond water in level 34 is contaminated. Drinking almond water in level 34 will result in vomiting before going limp. Despite wanderers appearing to be dead, they're actually still alive. They're completely aware of what's going on and know that they are on an exit. If almond water is brought from another level to the backrooms, it will become contaminated. After one day, it was not yet drunk. Further studies show that other liquids except liquid pain and its variants are subject to contamination effect. Most level 34 goes in a straight line, with an occasional tunnel every now and then. As such junctions, areas where other paths meet, are rare in level 34, which one does encounter junctions. However, there will usually be 3 paths, or 2 paths being somewhere rare. However, some junctions will have an abnormal amount of paths, ranging from 7 to 100. Out-of-place brick rooms can be found in level 34. These rooms contain various valuable supplies, along with a bunk bed. However, level 34's environmental hazards will happen more frequently in these rooms. As such, these rooms should only be used for quick pit stops. Level 34 continuously generates more tunnels the more you walk into it. If one were to get into a generating tunnel fast enough, they'll see it fade into existence. How this process works is simple. When level 34 detects a wanderer going deep into the level, it will create new tunnels by taking the part of the tunnel that one has already been through, and using them to create new tunnels. Level 34 is shrouded in near complete darkness other than occasional dim lights. The source of said lights have not been found. The current working theory is that some of level 34's tunnels are lit via anomalous means. Due to the darkness that level 34 presents, it is possible to go insane and eventually off yourself on the spot due to hallucinations. Similarly to level 6, compared to level 6, other light sources do not work on level 34, meaning it is possible to bring a flashlight or lantern with you to level 34. Oh, there are lots of environmental hazards. Earthquakes occasionally occur in level 34, which range from 9 to 25 magnitude earthquakes. These earthquakes happen at random, but studies show that they occur every 1 to 5 hours in level 34. Whenever an earthquake occurs, wanderers will usually get at least a few broken bones, or even the loss of a limb, and really death. Earthquakes will also create flooded holes in the walls and floors. both of which lead to level -2. Entities will also be affected by these earthquakes. Similarly to the floor, a part of the ceiling may randomly collapse and fall at any moment. Anyone under the falling ceiling will be crushed, killing them on the spot. The ceiling will then rise up almost like if nothing ever happened. Thunderstorms may occasionally be heard, in which minutes later rain will start pouring, sometimes even causing parts of the ceiling to cave in. During this rain, strong constant thunderstorms will occur, which is a phenomenon that will cause massive flooding over level 34, drowning wanderers on the spot. Whirlpools can be found on the water and can randomly appear unexpectedly in any random spot of level 34, sucking any water in the water next to these whirlpools. If one falls into them, they'll be sucked into the void. Go with caution to avoid and be careful of these whirlpools. Entities used to be sighted in level 34, including Smilers, Death Rats, Hounds, and allegedly Skin Stealers. On an unknown data, it was reported that level 34 has become completely devoid of entities, that the environmental hazard makes the level 34 occur. For now, it is theorized that level 34 changes what are its main dangers at random moments. Furthermore, it is speculated that level 34's next only danger will be mental hazards. Colonies and outposts. Renuk. Renuk is a colony located in a junction room consisting of Englishmen and Native Americans. Renuk was established in 1585 in reality, before disappearing from reality altogether. While questions are still raised on what happened to them, it is said that Renuk had ended up no-clipping into the backrooms after attempting to do a ritual to summon a god, and have decided to stay in level 34. My lordy lord. Sewer rats. A colony of 16 people that had become hypnotized and started to behave like death rats. Before they were hypnotized, they did experiments, went back to report their findings, and mostly acted friendly and sociable. The colony was then severely damaged after an incident where several earthquakes occurred, separating most of the colony's members and killing someone in the process. After 5 failed attempts to be repaired, the colony was disbanded. Entrances and exits. Doors in level 33 may lead one to level 34. Going through sewer gates in level 8 and level 11 will send one here. Some doors within level 54's floor 2 have a chance of leading one to into this level. Hatch in level 43 will lead to this level. Staircases going down in level 37 may send one here. It is rumored that a door in level 34 can be found in level 18, although this is unconfirmed since there has only been one sighting of this door. Spirit gates in level 36 will take one here. Exits. Going far into the tunnel will lead to level 35. Tunnels on this level have a rare chance of ending up in the caverns of level 8. Strangely wide tunnels on this level may eventually lead to level 49. Doing a cannonball into the water will cause you to no-clip through the water, sending you to level -34. Falling into/entering holes will lead to level -2. Swimming down water in junctions will send one to either level 7 or level -2. Sewer gates on the ceiling will lead to level 9, level 11, or very rarely level 4 and level 0, going to the floor. Barely finding a window and crawling through it sends one to level 99. Wanderers for 172 hours will have a small chance of no-clipping one into level 127. Oh, that silence is good. Okay. Level 35, Day 0. Oh. That sounds weird. Level 35, Day 0. Notice switch to dark mode for better experience. I am in dark mode. This has noise too, are you kidding me? Whatever. As I waltz in the thick snow encapsulating what may be beneath, the breathtaking view of several blizzards winds the size of mountains envelops effortless through the desolate, condemned expanse of infinite fields. Unknown 2571. 2,500. Wow, okay. Survival difficulty class 1. Safe, unsecure, unnatural, absence of any life form. Level 35 is the 36th level of the backrooms. The first encounter of this level was thought to have transpired in 1967, although it may have occurred in the much more distant past, quite possibly during the Middle Ages, 13 CE, or possibly even before the advent of written language. Description. Level 35 is an expansive spatial anomaly, mainly consisting of macrobee meadow, and a variety of colors are non-existent. The level possesses an effect that diminishes the saturation of all colors that may have existed previously. Curiously, every indication of what could be a living thing and is instead replaced with an artificial counterpart. Sightings of sophisticated sentient androids imitating insects have been formally reported. Any presence of what was once a lively environment with flourished plants and perhaps fauna is entirely nulled under unknown circumstances. Plants, fungi, and insects seemingly stuck during its decomposure process. Unnaturally pristine surfaces devoid of noticeable signs of microorganisms, and abnormal preserved corpses of fruitibulates without any certain chemicals discovered to do such tasks. Bridges randomly positioned in ill-fitting areas are standard structural aberrations in the bounds of level 35. They are almost always placed in the location where the bridge is unnecessary. By unknown means, these structures do not include any sensical article design. It is a perplexing scene for examiners of the bridge, as the I cannot read. The uncommony of the design does not cause any problems, such as the unstableness and susceptibility to the wind. It has been confirmed a multitude of times that these bridges are stronger and much more stable in contrast to bridges with accurate, calculated layouts, regardless of how their dimension/appearance. It should be noted the time within the confines of level 35 is altered. However, any appearance within the ability to represent time, such as clocks, smartphones, and other watches, remain functioning, apparently represented by hypnosis time corresponding to that of the front rooms. Contributions made by painstaking investigations regarding the said fixtures have an anomaly has yet to establish any clear explanation, with the only significant conclusion emerges as a hypothesis, which concerns the level potentially bears countless pockets haphazardly dividing the three-dimension space of level 35. Each of these pockets possesses its relatively continuum that differs from other pockets, creating time dilations that may particularly bewilder wanderers. Multiple situations of tremendous blizzards are tall as mountains had occurred within level 35. These snowstorms generally ensure a radical as one could unanticipatingly emerge without warning. Their sudden appearance predominantly signifies the start of the winter season and the end of the summer season. Temperatures inward of level 35 persists in being consistent despite the start of the winter season at tolerable 60 Fahrenheit, 15.56 Celsius, amidst the summer and winter periods. Snow originating from these blizzards that swathe the expansive enclosure of level 35 could potentially have a depth of 600 inches. 15.24 meters, to an impossibly deepness of 15,000 feet, 38.1 meters. Notwithstanding the revelation in which the snow is much more dense and compact, thus making a journey to explore the level during the winter not much easier than the level, as one may not sink below the snow. Despite the unnatural temperatures from the winter season, the snow cannot melt, otherwise a major flooding event may arise within level 35. Oh boy. Colonies and outposts. The time-dilating phenomenon within level 35 has enabled establishing colonies and outposts infeasible. Okay, before all of you start commenting in the comments saying that I skipped some stuff in some levels. Well, you know, in this one, and level 13. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm kinda sick right now. My throat hurts. My mouth is dry. This is gonna be my final level for today. Then I'll continue the last 5 later or tomorrow or something, okay? Entrances and exits. Entrances. There are 6 confirmed and consistent entrances which lead to level 35. Entering a region within every level in the backrooms which bear a black and white static-like effect may lead one to level 35. Crossing a border separating level 10 and level 35 lead one to this level, in addition to locking one from entering level 10 again. Tunnels within level 34 may abruptly alter its environments that may lead one to level 35. Experiencing a sudden loss of consciousness within level 39 may lead one to level 35, though the chances of this loss of consciousness is unlikely to occur. Houses colored blue decorated with LED lights within level 62 lead one to level 35. Entering doors within levels 386 interior may lead one to a house at level 35. Exits. There are only 4 confirmed and consistent exits from level 35, which lead to other levels. A section within a house would rarely appear, separated by a door, which if entered would lead one to level 13. No clipping through the facade of a monumental airport, which field at level 35 may lead one to level 36. One may find a crashed plane in level 35, which entering it may lead to level 36.5. Stairs in houses within the neighborhood of level 35 will lead one to a random floor of level 130. Okay. I will go to level 40 tomorrow. So, yeah. If you're mad at me, then you try doing this yourself. See you all next time.